Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk a little bit more about the pipeline, about Nord Stream, and the new theories that are surfacing about it. We will run them through the same stuff that we have run the other ones through. And just kind of go through it and talk about where all of the different entities involved, what they're saying about it. Okay, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there is now reporting that suggests that the people behind the pipeline getting hit were maybe Ukrainians that were non-state actors. That's the current theory that is mostly being floated. Off top, I will say that it's possible, don't get me wrong. When it gets to the plausible part, I have questions about them being non-state actors. That seems a little odd to me, and I know that in the very first video I did on this, I suggested that non-state actors could be involved. I find it hard to believe that they are non-state actors that just did it on their own without a company backing them. That's the part that I have questions about. The reporting says that 6 people, 5 men and 1 woman, they are unidentified at this time, so we will call them Destro, Zartan, Baroness, Firefly, Storm Shadow, and Cobra Commander. They rented a yacht, and that they did it. That's possible. The general framing of it, though, indicates that they were totally non-state actors. I don't know about that. I mean, they're making this sound like this was just like 6 people that got together and were like, hey, let's go do this. That seems a stretch. It's possible that they were state actors, that nobody can prove that they were state actors. That would make a lot more sense to me. But the general tone right now is that they were people who were supportive of Ukraine operating independently. Okay? What are the various official governments saying? Germany, who actually searched the yacht in question, their officials are saying, you need to calm down. We don't really have a whole lot at this moment. We need to let the investigations play out. There's a possibility that it was somebody making it look like Ukrainians that are non-state actors. The United States really doesn't seem to have an official comment on it at all. Russia is saying that it isn't true. It's misinformation designed to draw attention away from the real culprits, who, if I'm reading between the lines here correctly, they think Hersh's story is the right one. The Ukrainian government has said they have no knowledge of it. They didn't have anything to do with it, which tracks. That's about where it is. There's a lot of talk about this, not a lot of evidence at this point. More so than Hersh's story, at least when you're looking at it from German reporting. But still not enough to say, yes, this is what happened. There are still a whole bunch of other options out there. I'm following this one a little bit more closely than a lot of the other theories that have shown up, but it's more because you actually have some form of evidence, or at least official agencies pursuing some form of evidence. Them not being able to identify the people at all, it leads me to believe that this wasn't just 6 people who decided to do it. Being transparent to that degree and nobody being able to know who you are, that isn't normally a skill set of just random people who decided to do something like this. So there is, as far as the international community goes, there's no consensus. Russians still believe it's the U.S. The U.S. doesn't really have a say on this. Ukraine says it wasn't them. Germany, who are apparently people leading the investigation on this, at least by the reporting, that's the way it seems, they're the ones that have this information, and they still seem very reluctant to commit to it, and are even suggesting that the idea that it was pro-Ukrainian groups may not be accurate. It may have been people who wanted it to seem that way. So we really don't have a lot yet. But it's an interesting development. The whole yacht and it being searched, that may actually be the part that gets us to who is actually behind it. Now, one thing I do want to caution everybody on, based on the reaction to this news, even if incredibly concrete evidence comes out, I'm going to suggest that pretty much every side is going to try to spin that evidence to their favor. For Russia to say it's misinformation and trying to distract shows that they are more interested in the geopolitical ramifications than they are actually finding out what happened. For Ukraine to say, it wasn't us, but this definitely looks like a compliment to our special forces, even though we didn't do this, it would be cool if we did, kind of like was the joke they were making. I don't necessarily believe their denial, but at the same time, if they had admitted it, I wouldn't believe that either. Remember that a lot of these leaks are coming from intelligence officers. They're coming from people within the intelligence community who do have an interest in shaping a narrative one way or the other. This is one that you should probably follow, because I have a feeling that this train of the investigation will probably eventually lead to a real answer that is going to be disputed by pretty much the entire international community. But it does appear to at least be on the right track for once. A lot of the other theories, plausible and sure, but lacking a lot of documentation, a lot of evidence. This seems to, at least by the reporting, be following physical evidence, which is nice, rather than creating a theory and then trying to find the evidence to match the theory. So I don't have a hard take on it yet, because I haven't seen enough evidence. But this one is more interesting. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.